Good evening, boys and girls. This is Woobes here. Just going to go through some basic tool guides with you tonight and teach some newcomers to the game some basic skills. I have recorded this before, but we're going to top it up with some better quality sound. So, you come into Landmark and you've placed your first claim. You're not really too sure what to do with yourself. You can build. You've got all these tools. You've mined some materials, and you're overwhelmed with all the tools. The most important thing I think to look at straight away is on your action bar at the bottom is press the little question mark and go to building tips. What this does, it has every explanation of every tool in its most basic form, and I'm going to go through them with you now and just show you them as they work in game and give you some ideas of how they work. So, first of all, you've got your character here, perfect, lovely. How do you zoom in and out? So press shift, hold back and forward on your mouse wheel with shift held down, and you come in and out so you can get a better view of your area that you're going to be building in. Hey there, Shag, nice to meet you. Seen a lot of your tweets actually. This might be a little bit basic for you as you're quite the voxelmancer, so right. So we're going to start with the add tool. So the add tool, when you open it up, comes in its most basic form of a square cube, which is lovely and simple. And what you can do is place that down and it will be in the texture you have already selected in your texture box up here. To change that, you just click and then click on this, and it will bring out all your different materials. So you can scroll using the mouse wheel through these so we can see all the different textures and different styles of things we want. So I'm going to build in a dark colour just so you can see it against this white room, so I'm going to just build in Tundra Dirt for today. So first click will create just a cube. If you hold Control, it reverts to delete mode. So you can just delete what you've done, or you can press Control Z. Same with any art program. You've got Control Z for undo, Control Y for redo, Control X for cut, Control C for copy, and Control V for paste. So all those basic tools you can use again and again. You've got 20 undo stages, so I can build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20 things, and then I can press Control Z and get rid of every single stage I've done. Each click is a stage, so for example if you were building or smoothing, every single click will count as an add. If you are doing something like painting, where you take your paint, select your paint tool and you get your little box and you hold it down and you draw a pattern, not each dot will count as one. Until you let go of the mouse, that counts as your stage up until delete. So what we're going to do now is show you a bit more with the add tool. So you've got your basic square, but I want to make it bigger, so you've got your mouse wheel, and this takes it up in incremental sizes of cube, and it goes sort of ridiculous big. And this is just with the mouse wheel, just scrolling it. Yeah, it goes to 1,000,000 voxels, which not many people are going to be creating 1,000,000 voxel cubes. Another simple feature is if you've got your cube out, if you just press C, it will revert to a sphere, and C to go back to cube. So that's a quick shortcut between those. We do have some other shapes that we can add in game, which are the slope, as you see here, and I'm just using the mouse wheel to rotate. So what I've got here is a little axis control on the screen, and I can press tab and change it through different axes and just use the mouse wheel to scroll it round. nice and simple and nice and fun. So you can, on an English keyboard, I'm from the UK, on a UK English keyboard you can press the at key and that will give you the ability to resize. On a American English keyboard it is the tilde key, and on some Europeans it varies. I believe on German it's the U with umlauts key, and on Swedish I think it's the O with umlauts key, and that will change through all the different methods of rotation you've got. So we've got spinning it on its axis, changing the size, and moving it up and down with the mouse wheel, and then tab changes your axes. So we've got the slope full, we've got the slope corner, which honestly I haven't used that much. I find it quite difficult to put it into builds. It's nice because these shapes as of very recently all go down to 1 voxel size, so you can get very small little slope corners. So even though I haven't used it, I imagine it's a lot more useful than it used to be. I've been told in chat that it's U with the accent for French, German and Swiss keyboards. Thank you for that. We also have a sloped corner, which is quite nice. I like this for doing pointed roofs. It has good use, and you can rotate it round. And connect them all up for a really simple, like, 3-second roof there. There you go, and it's as simple as you get for a roof. Another one that I don't use much is the chamfered corner. Chamfered corner. I don't even know what that means. That's how poor my English is. So yeah, you've got this sort of sloped angle on the corner. Honestly, I don't use these things because I find I can do them easier with other methods. They're nice shapes to have, but I don't personally think they're the most groundbreaking shapes in the game. There's nothing particularly special. I guess that's quite a nice little pool or something. You could fill that space with water and it'd be quite nice, but nothing really exciting. So let's get rid of what we've done there. So just Control-Zing through that. So that's in its basic form the add tool. You can go through all the different shapes and add to the game. So you're creating a new shape within the world, a new voxel to play with. So now let's look at the delete tool. Delete tool is very similar to the add tool, except it's opposite. So you've got, let's make a little block with our add tool. The delete tool can go through all the shapes exactly the same, scrolling with the mouse wheel, making them bigger and smaller, and able to delete blocks. And you can press C, make it a spheroid, and delete shapes in spheroid shape, which is quite fun. And nice, and obviously you can delete in all the shapes from the shape selection, and it just cuts out once again all the same controls you've got. For me, I'm going to say at because that's my button for changing the control method. So you can change the size with that, you can change the axes, and then tab can make it change on its and with the wheel. So that's the delete tool. It is really simple. So this leads me nicely into the selection tool, which I'm going to take next. Selection tool is quite simple. It's this little boxed area, and what you do is you select the area and click and hold, and then you can drag it to a new place and it will select all that space in between for you. And what you can do with this is a few things. You can add to it. So if we go to our add tool, we can hover over and it will go yellow, and we can add to it. we can delete it. So we just press delete. You can also just press delete on your keyboard and voila, it disappears. Also with this you can use smooth tool, which I'll show in more detail in a moment, but you can click with this and smooth. I'm just going to Control Z back to the cube shape. You can paint it, which actually leads me into another tool quite nicely. If you press Alt on your keyboard, you get a picker, which is like a teardropper from Photoshop for picking colours in the world. So say, oh, I want this obsidian black that's on the X here. I'll take that with Alt and click. Or I want this white on the floor. I'll take that and click. So with that, then we select our paint tool and just paint it, and it paints all in one go. So the select tool makes a lot of jobs easier. In my opinion, the select tool is the best tool in the game because it makes building everything so much quicker. So instead of building each individual block to make a wall, you can get your select tool and you've got a nice selection there. What I'll do is press shift and that brings up the arrows on my keyboard, and I can just bring that up above the world, and there we have the select box, and I can fill that. So I've just made that little bit of wall so much quicker just with the select tool. Another cool thing about the select tool is, I'll just make it a little bit bigger so you can see, is you've got all the faces for movement. So you can click on this face and it will sort of go darker blue, and you can drag it out. Click on this face, drag it out, click on this face, etc. But a nice little trick is if you're standing here, you can highlight this face in blue and then press Control, and it makes that face go transparent. So what you can do then is select the far side and drag that in and out, or I can slightly turn and you see it's made that side blue, so I can drag it out that way or that side. Or if you prefer, you've got these little arrows that you can use and you can drag it out with those. Really simple, but obviously great for selecting big areas at one go. And you can then fill it with whatever you like. Let's just delete what I've got here then. Delete half my floor. So simple, I've just selected this floor area and I'll just add to it and replace the floor I deleted. So the next tool I'm going to show you is it's not used as much as it should be, but I personally love it for terraforming. It's my favourite tool, and that's the smooth tool, and the heal tool. And the heal tool works in a way that the add tool works, in the fact that it's making items in the game, but all it's doing is healing the world back to its original state. So if you see this claim area I've got here, I have cut a big hole in the world to make this space for a buildable space. So I can take the heal tool and I can heal an area, and that will heal, and this won't use any of my materials. That will just heal the world back in this space to how it was before I deleted this area. So if I went above ground level and went to heal, it would just heal invisible air. But be aware that if you are healing above ground level, it will still heal the air back to normal. So effectively, if you're healing over a bit of building, it'll look like it's deleting it because it's healing the original air that was there before you started affecting the claim space. So that is the heal tool in its basic form, and what I tend to do with that is I tend to use it to fill out areas at no material cost to myself. So I can, if I need to build up the land to reach the bottom of my building, for example, I will use the heal tool. And for example, I'm just